race fans. Welcome to the Core Racing Network. Not going to waste any time tonight. Had some technical difficulties starting this race early as well, so everything's kind of snowballing here, but we got this thing ready to go. They're about to take the green flag here for the 2-hour team finale, and we are at the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps, big, beautiful track here, site of plenty of really good GT races here, and we're about to see another one here tonight. Green flag in the air. We are racing at Spa. First time headed down into Eau Rouge and Raidillon. We're joined in the booth by Jimmy Covert. Jimmy, last race of the season here. Time to let the hair down, and we already got a big one on the backstretch. Watching it right here live, and just about the entire field caught up in this one. Heck of a way to start the broadcast.
I mean, I'm glad we caught it, but some major damage to a lot of cars. So even somebody's gonna even tow, and you know, a few drivers obviously getting through there, and they'll be able to benefit from that. I'm not sure if they're gonna do a full course caution or not. More spinach to come, but you know, that could be from some of them cars being damaged. So you know, a lot of damaged cars out here for what's about to be a 2-hour event.
Take a look at it again, and already some issues right at the front here. We'll try and take a look here again. I look like right at the front, a mix-up between our top two guys here, Doug Palmer and Bryce Reiner, right at the front. A little bit of bumping and banging. Both of them going together. A big impact here for Doug Palmer. And you see the rest of the field already wrecking behind. A huge impact right there as the 40 of Dan Morera gets sent flying. And you see just absolute carnage all the way through the field. And Morera then getting sent up in the air once again. Wow, this was... I thought we had technical difficulties. This is a little bit more than that here to start this 2-hour race. And 2 hours, we got plenty of time yet to go, but there are plenty of body parts out there on the track up there at the top of the Camel Straight. Wow, not really sure what to say on this one. This was a heck of a start to the race.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what the call on that one, but that's going to allow Pineda to kind of stretch his legs just a little bit. Craig Jancic didn't make it through as well, and then Steve Barusa there in third. Leo Agusha there in fourth, and Randy Ayers is sitting in fifth. Dave Jansen, John Espada, Bill Burrell, and Christian Ortiz, Paul Bailey, Billy Wright, and Devin Young, Bryce Rayner, Stephen Pless, Todd Sorville. That's for your top 15, and Doug Palmer in the pits, along with Brandon Potts and Dan Morera and Frank Pisano. So some tough start here early, but looks like we even have more, or is that maybe it's a little bit. I see Stephen Pless still fighting that car to get back into the pits there. Yeah, it's a rough one here, Cole.
Well,
I don't know what to say. That's the first time I've seen CSRL like have that big of an issue, you know, early on. And, you know,
I think it's the first time we've seen any GT series have a big one. I mean, we're used to maybe, you know, going to Talladega or Daytona with the, you know, the Core Xfinity series or you know, some other, you know, VVR or something like that. And obviously there's a chance at a big one. I never thought there'd be a chance at a big one at Spa. I mean, especially even at the top there, you know, at the top of Raidillon there, it's plenty wide, but I guess it kind of bottlenecks there a little bit right at the start of the Camel Straight. And man, a lot of drivers already in the pits licking their wounds, and this is going to throw a major wrench into the situation here tonight.
Yeah, they just finished up a great season. Obviously, having this 2-hour special event here for the teams, and obviously it's starting off with a little bit of a debacle. But I think some of these drivers you might see come back, and like I said, it is a long race, and anything can happen. It's Spa's one of those special tracks. You know, it's one of the special event tracks. You got a lot of drivers come out here and do the 24-hour event. Last year they threw rain at us while we were here, and it was a challenge, but I think we got clear skies here tonight. for the drivers here is right now it is still Pineda out front over Craig Jancic and Steven Barusa. So these three drivers able to kind of take advantage and you know, be able to check out. So, but just kind of watching Craig Jancic, I'm not quite sure if he was involved where he's not putting pressure, but we're used to seeing Craig out front.
Yeah, Jancic starting back there in fourth, and we'll try and take a look again at the start of that race from some of the hunt boards and show you what happened, because again, a ton of drivers getting taken out pretty much right away in this one. But you see kind of who's left on top of the boards there, as you got Pineda, Jancic, Barusa, Gausha, and Ayers making up your top five. Let me get the try and get the standings looking correct there. It's showing it per the divisions, because there are some drivers out here are just running out here solo. They're not part of the team event. This is the last race of the season for CSRL, but the individual points are completed, and it is Craig Jancic. You see him on screen here. He was the Pro Division champion here this season, and Christian Ortiz Torres was the AM class champion. So we'll talk to them at some point here tonight and kind of get their words on their season. But this right here tonight is what's going to decide the team championship. But that pretty much is already decided as well. We'll take a look at that here real quick, and I'll try and make it a little bit smaller and show it on the side of the screen for everybody, so we're not taking up the racing too much here. But you see right there, it is GT689 on top of the boards, and that is Craig Jancic and Glenn Lazan. And Glenn not here tonight, so Craig's the only one flying the flag, but they came in here with a 79-point lead over Shake and Bake, that being Frank Pisano and Renan De Lima. And then another 2 points back to the Punk Crew, Anthony Jenkins and Eli Singh. And then 704 Motorsports, another 2 points back there as well, with Colin Winslow and Brandon Potts. So pretty much already decided, and the team championship looks like it's going to go to GT689. So again, some of the drivers out here, whether they're on teams or not, just kind of running out fun, and one last race of the year. There's still team points on the line, but not enough to take away the championship from GT689. So congrats on their championship this season. But out front, it is Herbert Pineda trying to run away from Craig Jancic here. So yeah, we'll try and take a look back here in a second once we get everything straightened out here. Pretty crazy start to the night for us, even crazier for these drivers on track.
Yeah, I mean, that's not one way that to start the race, and obviously maybe a little antsy to get out there, but you know, obviously I think just you know, one bad turn and as close as these drivers, you know, are a lot of times, and it just kind of snowballed. I don't know how to explain it. It just, you know, cars started going everywhere, and people trying to go through. You're coming up through El Rouge, and just it is crazy. It does get crazy, but I've never seen it that crazy.
There we go. Now we got the standings corrected there, showing Herbert Pineda in the lead. The other thing I'm struggling with here tonight, trying to get it figured out, is for some reason these numbers are all kinds of jumbled up. So we apologize for the numbers not showing up correctly on the timing and scoring tower, but you can see where your favorite drivers are currently running, or maybe not running at all, as Doug Balmer had the pole here for tonight and didn't last too long. Got up to the top of Radeon, and that's where all the calamity started happening. So we'll take a look back here, and we'll try and take a look at the onboard here from maybe Christian Ortiz Torres. He was kind of right in the middle of the pack here, and just kind of getting an eyeball on this situation here from the 11. Show you how quickly things happen right here at the top. Cars just flying all over the place. And you see Ortiz Torres tried his best just to work his way through there, maybe a little bit of a bump to the front. But Jimmy, our first big one on a road course. I mean, any road course. I mean, we've seen, you know, 2 or 3 cars get involved sometimes. We've seen, you know, So all kinds of technical difficulties here for this SDK, and then YouTube stopping the stream. Hopefully we're back up and running for everybody out there, and you can see the action once again on the track. And there's plenty of action. I know we did catch that in the beginning of the stream before the stream stopped. So we'll hopefully get everything back going here. We got Herbert Pineda in the lead, Craig Jancic, Steven Marussia in third, Leo Gausha and Randy Ayers for your top 5. You got Jensen, Burrell, Ortiz Torres, Young, and Espada for your top 10. But as we mentioned, whether you heard us or not, it was a heck of a crazy start to this race, and a ton of drivers taken out and having to go into the pits. A lot of them having to tow to get back in there, and pretty much everyone that got to the pits had to use a fast repair early on in this one, including our pole sitter Doug Palmer, who decided not to even come back out as he took a hard hit at a toe, and he's going to finish in last place here tonight. But Herbert Pineda, one of the cars that did make it through and made it through clean. He is running some good laps right now. Fastest car on the track in the top 5 right now, as Christian Ortiz, or I'm sorry, Devin Young running the fastest lap of the race this past lap. And he is currently running in 8th place, but Pineda showing he's got some strength here. I mean, Craig Jansen started up there in 4th position. Pineda started in 3rd. Both of them made it through the early carnage there. But Jancic hasn't been able to chip into the lead at all. It's actually been Pineda pulling away here. A 2.4 second lead now for the 99.
Yeah, and it's the Ferrari, Carl. Ferrari does really. The Ferrari does really well here at Spa still, and that's actually one of the. As of right now, there's no BOP or anything right now, and you know, they had some officials this week at Spa, and I was watching them, and the Ferrari, a lot of the top runners were running it. What the problem is with the Ferrari is toward the end of the run, the tires start to go, so you start spinning all over the place, so that he has to be very careful. And you know, obviously, you know, hopefully Herbert's got some time in that car and understands that, you know, so, but you know, that was the car that everybody seemed to be choosing, along with the Porsche. You know, it's always nimble, you know, for a while until the tires start going away. And then obviously the McLaren. But we have a variety of cars out here right now, and obviously, and maybe they'll see that right now because everybody's kind of mixed up. There is a couple battles on the field around Devin Young and William Burrell. You know, nose to tail there, you know, battling out still for 8th and 9th. So. There's still battles on the field, and you know, obviously looking to move forward and whatnot. So, sorry, that's Devin Young and Christian Ortiz there for 7th and 8th. But Burrell was up there just a little bit, but he got passed. But yeah, they're doing good. I mean, as you know, doing good now. You know, maybe not so much earlier, but definitely a battle here for that 7th position. And let's see, I think there's somewhat where Leo, yeah, Leo and Randy Ayers are not too far apart as well. So, you know, a couple battles on the track still, but we're going to be out here a long time, and you know, you never know what's going to happen. You know, you see these longer races, sometimes they get spread out, and then the pit stops happen, and then, you know, either somebody pushes a little harder, or somebody doesn't take tires, or whatever they're trying to do, and you know, usually by the end of the race, things start to close back up again. So, but right now, I guess our focus would be, you know, obviously we know Herbert's out front pulling away. He's out to a almost 3-second lead over Craig Jancic, but they are side by side back here with Devin Young and Ortiz.
Young making the pass there and moving himself up into 7th position. This is the closest and really the only battle on the track right now. We look up a little bit further here, and this is Leo Gausha in 4th place. Randy Ayers not too far behind him in 2nd. But Jimmy, why don't we hop on board with Leo Gausha here and take a ride with the Lamborghini here around Spa. And why don't you give us a little description of how you drive this track?
Right now he's just got out of turn 1 and working his way up to the or you might as well call it Calamity Corner, but up through El Rouge and Radion, down through Camel Straits, and basically it's full throttle all the way down this nice long stretches. One of the places you get to kind of relax a little bit and set up your turns here for Les Combs. Then down and through Malamé, and then you're gonna head down a couple stretches. You're gonna come down to Lavage, which is a nice right-hand turn down a hill. So you're gonna downshift and make sure you hit that apex. You don't want to go on gas too hard, or you'll end up pushing wide or spin it out. Here's my tricky corner right here, the no-name corner. Usually end up in that dirt over there where you see off to the right-hand side. But then down comes then Poulan. So some people have trouble with Poulan. You want to take it faster than you think you can, but you gotta roll that car right down through there. Just lift this a little bit. Once you hit the apex, you can get on it. You work your way down into turn number 12, down the Banges. Because this would be a 12 and 13, and then the curve Paul Ferrer. I might be butchering some of these names, but I'm pretty good at that. But this is turn 14 and 15. It's a double right-hand turn, and you got to be careful because you don't want to go out in that pea gravel. It really slows you down these days. And you get yourself a nice little exit, and you're going to run on down through turn 16, which is just a little left-hand turn. And then Blanchimont it's a really fast kink, but some cars, when you're going through Blanchimont, really don't like when you get on the gas and the rear end will come around, so you got to lift until that car is set, and then go down, and then you go down here to the chicane, or some people call it a bus stop because it reminds you of kind of Daytona, but slows the car down to bring them down to the front stretch again, and then head right down into turn 1, or they call it La Source. So but yeah, it's definitely, this is where your slap begins, is right here off of La Source. You need to hit that apex and get a good run, and if not, that seems like it just kind of snowballs, like if you're going to have a great lap or not. These drivers are out here, they're doing leaders are up there doing 218s, 219s. I know a lot of averages are right around them 219s and 20s for race pace. So there's a lot of time out here, and we'll see how hard some of these drivers can push these cars, because you got to manage these tires too, because they're going to be out here for a full tank of gas, and you can really lose them tires toward the end of your stint, and then next thing you know, you're just pushing the car handles like poop, and you don't know what to do with yourself. It's just you're just trying to hold on and not lose your position. But right now, Leo's doing a pretty fantastic job in that Lamborghini. Not a car that I have too much time in, to be honest.
Yeah, same here. I mean, I'm pretty sure I own it. I guess that's where I should start. But I haven't really been out there too much. I know I've definitely tested it when iRacing is down and they have the little test sessions. But I'm pretty sure I do own the car as well. But certainly, same thing. Haven't really got that much time in it. I know there's certain tracks that it definitely favors more than others, and I think one of them may be coming up. I feel like the Lamborghini was pretty big at the Sebring 12-hour last year, but we won't have to worry about that. We're going to be tackling it in the LMP2 this year for our team. But I may end up pulling a double again and seeing if I can hop on a GT team as well as the LMP2 team. But this track right here at Spa is always going to be one that is near and dear to my heart, and I'm sure Jimmy's as well. Winning the Spa 24, I think it was a couple years ago at this point, but it's when you win one of these major events in iRacing, it doesn't matter what split you're in. Of course, it probably feels even better winning top split, but I mean, you win your split, you survive. A lot of times, just surviving, getting to the end, a top 5 sometimes can feel like a win, just from all the trials and tribulations you go through. These drivers out here for 2 hours, so in regards to CSRL time, this is a bit of an endurance race for them. They're typically out here for their 45-minute races, a little bit longer out here tonight, but Herbert Pineda has been showing the pace out here in the Ferrari. And I agree. I think this is kind of the quintessential car for Spa. It's a track that you need to be fast, but you have to have a car that's certainly a little bit nimble as well and can make it roll through some of these corners. And Pineda doing a great job right now, turning in some good times, out to a 3.5 second lead over Jansen.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's always, it was like our go-to car there for the longest time before a lot of the updates came out, and McLaren got updated, and now you have like the Vette and the Acura, the Mustang out there as well. So they're all good cars. It's just, you know, what suits your driving style the best. But the Ferrari just always seems to be pretty nimble around here. And like I said, just watching some of the, I'm a pretty avid supporter of a lot of the streamers that are out there that, because I work from home, so I have the ability to kind of run my Twitch streams in the background and watch people drive around here and just kind of see how things are going, you know, what people's thoughts are, and you know how these so-called they're 8-9K drivers that I've been watching, and you see the times they put in. Like, they were running 215s, Carl. So back in the day when it was easier to get down in those speeds, but yeah, back in here, the 250 down the 215s. Obviously, it was a quality run, but you know, still to see those times in these cars is just amazing. And you know, you're wondering where some of these people you know, get that type of skill, and you know, how many laps do they have around the track that they feel comfortable running like that. And you know, iRacing's going to throw another wrench, though. You know, they're coming out with a new update, so a new tire model for the GTPs and the LMP2s. I don't know if it's going to affect the GT3s at all, but they talked about basically how important that outlap is, essentially the first lap of the race. So, you know, you see what happened. You know, pretty much the cars were all on cold tires coming up through El Rouge and, you know, wrecking there in Radion. So, I mean, it's just one of those things now that the outlap or that first lap is going to be so critical, and they're talking about, you know, lap times being like 3 to 4 seconds slower in each car. You know, corners that you'd just take, for instance, like Daytona. There's a little kink in between the two like horseshoe turns that they got there, and they're talking you're going to be down like 2 years than normal, you know, because the car's just not going to have the grip
in a corner that's typically flat out.
Yeah, it's typically flat out, right? So, and that's amazing, and they're trying to make it as realistic as possible, and I think that's what it boils down to. And you know, they quote this game as, you know, iRacing. It's a simulator, and it's a, and a lot of people call it a game. You know, it can be both, but people run this thing because they laser scan the tracks. They're really close. Obviously, iRacing's been around, so you know the graphics are you know, maybe taking a little bit of a hit, and maybe don't look the prettiest. And they're always making changes and modifications. But iRacing, you know, is a big staple in the sim market, and they offer a wide variety of different cars. You know, we're here with CSRL, and they're driving the GT3 cars. You know, you've heard us talk about it. You know, the LMP2, the GTPs, but they also have NASCAR, and they also have dirt rally. They got we call them jumpy trucks, and like, you know, on the dirt and stuff like that. So there's all kinds of options out here. If you're interested in racing, it's one of the better platforms. You know, it's not for the faint of heart of the wallet, though. It can cost a little bit, you know, getting into it, but once you have everything, it's just, you can log in, you can join a race. There's multiple servers. There's all kinds of things that you can do to you know, keep yourself busy throughout. You don't have to wait a whole tremendous amount of time. You know, and you can, like, say you run like the GT3 cars, so they got a Ferrari fixed series. They got you know, a regular IMSA fixed series, so you don't even have to look for a setup. You can just get in and drive. You know, if you're not somebody that, you know, wants to buy a setup or make a setup on your own. But you know, if you like to make setups, that, you know, they have open races as well, and they usually fall in between. So you can usually run the fixed race and then run the open race, and then run the fixed race and run the open race. And you know, same kind of goes thing even with the NASCAR series. You know, that they have the trucks, they have Xfinity, they got the new NASCAR that, you know, everybody's running right now. So it's just, there's plenty that you can kind of jump back and forth you know, whatever suits your fancy. And obviously, some of these different races that require you to have a license, you know, so, you know, they try to, and I'm sure it's not perfect. The system's not perfect as far as the licensing system goes, but they try to kind of get you to get out there and, you know, start from like how you normally would. Like if you're just got into racing, you know, and you start with go-karts, you're probably not going to hop into, you know, GT3 cars or an LMP2 car, you know, so you're going to work your way through it. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think that's one of the things iRacing was trying to work on, was basically like a career mode. So you can work your way up through, you know, using AI, because a lot of times, you know, you can't really control all the drivers out here and what they do. But the AI seems to, you know, obviously try to stay on track. They might be a little more forgiving. Excuse me for a second. But yeah, definitely a lot of things going on with iRacing, and you know, I talked about the graphics just a little bit, but they're supposed to be coming out with a new graphics engine just for iRacing. So we'll see how that all boils down, and hopefully it's a little easier on our machines, as it definitely sometimes it does push your machine's limits, and you know, if you're on a little older machine, you can struggle, especially when they're new. I call it their new toy, rain. It shows up on the track.
Well, going back to the AI that you're mentioning, another thing that I've seen that they are working on is adaptive AI, to the point where the AI will essentially learn your speed on the track, and their speed will adapt to it. So I'm assuming that's going to come a little bit into play if they come into the you know, the career mode side of it. So the AI, you know, you can set your AI up. I'm sure, you know, you can set it to a base level if you want to, or maybe, you know, you can set it up on, you know, essentially beginner. I know some video games kind of already do that. I know my son is a big player of MLB The Show, and you can set it up on dynamic difficulty, where you'll start out at a you know, beginner level, and once the system realizes that, you know, you're good enough, or you get so many hits, it automatically, even within that game, will move up to the rookie, into the semi-pro, pro, you know, all the way through all the levels until it kind of evens itself out. You know, and once it gets to, you know, say a legend difficulty and you're struggling, it'll back it back down, and it'll kind of just keep going up and down. I'm assuming that's what they're looking to do with the AI here, with the adaptive AI, if you want to set that up, if that ends up being an option. But a lot of cool things. I mean, it's one thing that iRacing is not cheap. You know, at the end of the day, it's not a cheap hobby to get into, but it's a hobby. You know, if it's something you like to do, you're going to spend your money on a hobby, whether it's baseball, whether it's bowling, whether it's darts or pool or racing. On here, you're going to spend some money regardless. And iRacing doesn't just sit on its laurels. They're constantly scanning new cars, they're constantly scanning new tracks, but they're also, you know, like Jimmy's saying, they're looking at different avenues to, you know, enhance the user experience, whether it be, you know, through their, you know, updating of their UI, or adding the AI features, or adding career modes, or, you know, just as simple as, you know, updating tire models, which is, I'm sure, extreme amount of work on the back end. I don't even want to begin to think what it involves back there. But I mean, you know, the new tire model, from the sounds of it, is just going to be affecting the GTP and LMP2s. So we'll have to deal with it for Sebring and the LMP2, but I don't think the GT3s are going to be affected. But one thing that may have been affected here is the pit stop and the speed for Herbert Pineda here. It was about a second slower in the pit lane, as the total pit lane time for Pineda was a 120.8. For Craig Jancic, a 119.8. And I can probably point to one spot where time can be gained or lost in the pit stall, and that is the hard hairpin, basically the inside of the source in pit lane. It is an absolute danger spot. We'll show you next time these drivers come into the pits, but right there on the inside, you can destroy your car. It looks like it's the cone version here, so it's a little bit opened up, and you can get a penalty, but at least you won't penalize your car. But we've got a battle for the lead. It was 4 seconds before the pit stops. It's now 0.4 seconds.
Yeah, we also have a battle back here for P number 5, as well as the right side. I'm kind of I was browsing around. I kind of unhooked my leash from. I usually just kind of mimic what Carl's watching, but just kind of with the spa being so big, and you want to try to see what's going on. But yeah, take a look back at Randy Ayers and Devin Young. These two have been going at it now for about the last lap and a half. They've been side by side through a few corners and just battling out. It's a Porsche and the McLaren just doing their thing here, and it's really kind of fun to watch. They're giving each other room. They're going through corners that typically you don't go too wide. And here's another move by Devin Young.
Looking to go around the outside. And they get very close, but it looks like Young is finally going to make the pass. He was on the outside for the start of the S-turn there, but obviously being on the inside for the second part of it, it allows him to get by, move himself up into 5th place. So Devin Young doing a really good job moving up through the field. Started in 18th position all the way back at last, well, I guess technically second last row of the field, but second last on the field. And has moved himself now all the way up into the top 5. And Jimmy, tonight is a race where you can start from the back if you mess up in qualifying, or if you just want to test yourself a little bit here and try and move your way up through the field, because you got plenty of time. It's not a 45-minute race. If it was, we'd be 10 minutes from the end already. But we've got about an hour and a half left in this race, still a long time to go, and a chance for Devin Young to work his way all the way up, maybe get himself a podium yet. Our top 2 have checked out pretty well. It's now about a 1 second lead again for Pineda as Jancic tries to close in here a little bit. But these two cars are 22 seconds ahead of everybody else. Steven Marussia in 3rd place is the one that's 22 seconds back. He's got about a second lead on Leo Gausha, so not too big of a lead there between Marussia and Gausha, and the lap car maybe playing a little bit of a part in there as Gausha going to be able to close in. And we got a battle for 1st, we got a battle for 3rd, and we got a battle now back here for 7th and 8th as well. Dave Jensen in 7th, Ortiz Torres, your AM class champion for this season, looking to try and move himself up.
Yeah, and we talked about them pit stops, and this is the first of many so far. Only 40 minutes have gone by, so they still have an hour and 20 minutes out here, and we're gonna see another pit stop. So they need to make up. Well, now that they did their pit stop, and now they need to get out a good drive, get their laps in, closing some of them distances, and hopefully another pit stop. If they've made positions through the pit stops, they can have another great stop and work their way up even farther. But yeah, a lot of good battles starting to kind of show up here just a little bit. I see looks like like I said, a battle there for 3rd place now, as Leo is on the rear bumper of Steven.
Coming out of a no-name corner and now heading down into Wuhan as you look at from Leo Gausha's Lamborghini up to the Audi of Steven Marussia, the 144 right in front of him. And they got the lap car, the 22 of Todd Torville, currently in 15th position. One of the cars that got caught up in the lap 1 incidents at the top of Radion, and just trying to fight his way back up through this field. And I got to give it to these guys that are out here. Only, it looks like, 2 cars have retired from the field. Doug Palmer getting caught up in that wreck and getting thrown around like a rag doll, kind of, to put it mildly. But he decided to call it quits right away after that one. Billy Wright stuck it out there for a little bit longer, but then he had some more issues and decided to bring it in. But we've got a battle here into the bus stop, and heck of a move right there. As Leo Gausha going to move himself up into 3rd position now. Big move, big pass there. We'll take a look at it here one more time, as he absolutely sent it in there. They end up being 3 wide. Torville on the outside there, just kind of trying to stay out of it, trying to mind his own business, but he got caught up in the mix of a battle right there. Heck of a move there from the 666. Back here to the battle for 7th and 8th, as once again Ortiz Torres comes out of the source, and he is now a little bit closer this time to Jensen. We'll see if that Ferrari has got the power down the Kemmel Straight this time to close in on the Porsche Jensen.
It's all about setting that run up, Carl. Like I said, you come out of one, and you got to get this run here. That looks like he is going to have that run coming up out of Radion and down the Kemmel Straight. He's got the inside, so he's got position here. And almost a touch there, but 692 lets up just a little bit. So going to move Dave Jansen up into that
Ortiz Torres.
Ortiz,
yep.
but yeah, up in that 7th spot. I was clicked on the wrong car. But definitely a good battle. And like you said, we talked about earlier, even though with that big one happening, it's just a matter of time. These drivers, we've watched them all season. We've watched their great battles, and just to see them continue here, for this, this long event. And here, we're closing in on that 45 minutes, and this is when they typically would stop. So, and one thing we haven't talked about yet, and we mentioned that this was 2 hours that they're going to be out here, is that fatigue. Driver fatigue in their, in their rigs. Did you turn on your fan? Did you, so you're nice and cool? Are you well rested? Did you have a long day at work? There's a lot of things that can play an effect in here. And after an hour, as sitting there driving, now you're going to sit in your rig for over double the amount of time. Are these drivers prepared to run that 2 hours? And a lot of them, obviously, they're going to be out here and they're going to run it, but can they hold up that hitting their marks and hitting their braking points for 2 consecutive hours to get some great finishes?
Well, the one thing that did hit was Gaucha hitting the wall out of Wuhan, as you see it there on the screen, and took some major damage, was crab walking and had a rough time and ended up having to tow back to the pits. So just taking over 3rd place and then having the issue through Wuhan puts him now possibly out of this race and puts him all the way down into 17th position. What could have been a really good race for Gaucha. He didn't get a chance to talk to us, which, let's be honest, that's the best part of getting on the podium here. You get the finish is nice, the points are nice, but we're better. So
he did get some TV time, and we did talk about him quite a bit. So hopefully that's not some kind of
consolation prize,
broadcaster's curse. But obviously, these drivers still out here doing their thing, getting stuff done, and maybe that fatigue just kind of finally set in. So I just got done talking about it, how this is a 2-hour race, not just 45 minutes. We just went over that 45 minutes. So,
we're still at 41. I'm not sure if your time is off there a little bit, because I know you mentioned 40. We're at 40 minutes before, but I'm at 41 minutes and 50 seconds right now. So,
well, this must be counting their outlap.
Yeah. I was wondering what was going on. But
yeah, I'm looking at the iRacing.
That'd be why.
I've been out in their car. Yeah, they've been in their cars for 46 minutes. And plus, before this, they were out on track qualifying in open qualifying, as they normally do, for an hour. So all in all, if somebody started as soon as the session opened, we're talking a 3-hour event here, and that's that's quite a distance. I know when I lived in Virginia, I lived near Virginia Beach for a while when I was driving home to Pennsylvania. Heck, in 3 hours, I was up near Dover, Delaware.
Yeah, it's one thing that you don't consider, especially like when we talk about these 12 and 24-hour events. The driver that starts the race, he's going out there and he's going to do a double or triple stint to start the race. So you're looking at 2 or 3 hours depending on how long you want to go. But like you said, Jimmy, he's out there not just for that double or triple stint. He was out there for qualifying. He was most likely out there for at least a half hour, maybe longer for practice, and maybe even some more practice earlier on. So you're out there for quite a long time if you're one of the opening drivers to a 12 or 24-hour event. But even these guys here, they're out there for that hour-long practice, so they're going to be out there for essentially a triple stint here tonight if they can make it. We certainly are seeing quite a bit of carnage here in Spa, biting back here, but we got a good battle right now between 5th, 6th, and 7th being Ayers, Ortiz Torres, and Jensen heading up Eau Rouge and Radion right now. And this is the one of the best battles on the track, but The battle for first, it looked like it was stretching out there a little bit, got back out closer to 2 seconds. It's back down to 0.7, but right now, Ayers going defensive down in the Kemmel Straight to try and keep Ortiz Torres behind him.
Yeah, that Ferrari is just, you get that run out of Radion, man, and if you can get on it correctly, you just get a heck of a run, and the Ferrari is able to put down the power, and, you know, the tires don't seem to go towards there. It's almost kind of like the Porsche, but it's the rear that kind of goes in the Ferrari, but right now they're still doing good. They're, you know, still young in this field, you know, after the pit stop here. So it should still be good with them tires. I haven't seen anybody really have any challenges, you know, besides the Lamborghini. They're going off track there, but you know, I haven't really seen anybody any like self spins or just like losing it in any of these corners. And I know the Porsche at this track, it's fun to drive, but we always tease because we see Porsche does Porsche things, and it usually just means the rear end just likes to just go around on you just because. It feels it depends on how the car is set up, and I don't know. Oh, that was Jensen in the wall. So that's gonna put a little damage on that car.
Just a little bit wide. And yeah, you see a big moment there. It looks like it's still driving straight, but I'm sure that thing is certainly hurting. And he's going to fall off the pace here in the battle for fifth with Ayers and Ortiz Torres.
Yeah, he was doing so good. No meatball flag flying. But if that car has damage and they do have another fast repair, it is early on, and they can't make it the rest of the way on the stop that they got. So maybe just a short pit, come in and get that repairs done, and get back out there and take another whack at it there. So I think he's still in good shape there as far as, but so he'll be one to watch. He's having a hard time turning to the right, I guess, and then because he's coming down the pits. But yeah, I like the way CSRL does their they're kind of like with their fuel strategy. They start them off with like I think a half a tank, so they end up having to pit in their 45-minute races. But if they wreck early, they were able to get their fast repair in and get back out on the track and run and still have a good finish because they won't have to come back in for a second time. So that's one thing that kind of benefits having that fast repair and being able to refill the tank to full in order to get a great run out here. But
we've got an issue here. Sorry to stop you, Jimmy, but our leader having a moment and pretty much right where Jensen just had a moment. Not sure if he got some help there from Jansen, but that was a hard impact into the wall for Herbert Pineda. We'll take a look at it one more time here. I'll try and take a look maybe from a different angle to see if there was any kind of contact between Jancic and Pineda, and you see him right there already loose, already fighting it. Jancic goes to the outside, and then it was just a vicious impact into the inside wall there for Pineda, and he had to limp that thing back to pit lane. And I'm sure he's got a fast repair. I don't think he was unless he mistakenly took it on that first pit stop. But that's definitely going to be a fast repair for the 99. As you see him now coming in through pit lane, and not sure if that's going to be a penalty there, dipping outside the cones, going through there. But either way, he is coming into the pits. So Jancic is now in the lead. Yeah, this is the first time we've seen Jancic close enough to even get up there and battle with him, and maybe just took that little bit of pressure for Herbert Pineda to make the mistake here tonight. It's going to put the 689 of Craig Jancic into the lead. Not sure why, if he's going for a different car number here tonight or what the case is, but either way, Jancic in the lead, Barusha in second, Devin Young now moves himself all the way up to third. The battle that was for fifth is now for fourth, and we were watching it there between Randy Ayers and Christian Ortiz Torres, just back and forth, side by side all the way down the Kemmel Straight and all the way through the next, it seemed like 4 or 5 corners, and it's still Randy Ayers in the lead. A little bit of a mistake right there. We'll see. And look like Ortiz Torres is close enough to make that battle here once again, but should be coming up on the second round of pit stops. Some of these drivers having to come in earlier than they wanted to because of some of the damage, but to me it's looking like it's going to be probably at least a 3 pit stop race here tonight, and maybe more depending on how early you had to come into the pits. I know these cars should be able to take on the full fuel load here, so I would think these drivers want to try and get out as far as they can in this run to make sure it's only one more pit stop.
Yeah, I mean that's what we would like to do. But yeah, you know, I mentioned it earlier about the Ferrari having issues with tire wear on the back and stepping out. So if he was getting if whoever was out there and you know, running that car hard, more than likely them rear tires just started to go, and it was just last minute, just a little bit too much gas because he was, like you said, he was getting a little pressure from Jancic. But okay, so now we're just, you know, I'm watching Torres track down Randy Ayers there as they come down to the bus stop portion here of the chicane, coming to the front stretch, but seems like the rear end just maybe stepping out just a little bit, so just gotta watch them tires on the Ferraris here tonight at Spa, as it, like I said, once it gets down towards the end of the stint, it really does go. And I don't know if like I said, I watch a lot of people, so I try to get all the the little things, the little details that people don't think about, you know. And in order to find out about, you know, tires going early on a car, you'd have to run a whole tank. So, you know, how many people get a chance to do that throughout the week? But it looks like Torres will get the run on Ayers and make the pass down the Camel Straight.
Well, we've seen this before, and Ayers fights back on the inside, but it looks like finally the 11 is going to make the pass. A crossover attempt there from the 66. Gonna get shut down now. That Ferrari's gonna have to get some legs and run away quickly, because Ayers is not the easiest one to pass, and he likes to provide a rebuttal quickly here. But it looks like Ortiz Torres is gonna complete that pass, moves himself up into 4th position. So our champions this season, again, Craig Jancic taking down the Pro class, and then in the AM class it was Christian Ortiz Torres getting the Drivers' Championship for the AM class over Glenn Lazan. But Craig Jancic and Glenn Lazan will end up being the team champions, as their team at GT689 is going to get it done here for this season. Shake and Bake, Frank Pisano and Renan de Lima were the closest ones coming into this race, but they were a good 79 points behind, so just too much ground to make up here for tonight. But it's been a heck of a crazy race. It's settled down since the start of it. We've seen some big impacts here, you know, just recently here in the race from both our leader at the time. Losing my spot here. There we go. Our leader at the time heading into the wall very, very hard, and looks like he's back out on the track, trying to find him in the corner here.
Who's that?
And for some reason, yeah, everything is just kind of there's all kinds of issues here tonight. Everything's just kind of locking up on me here. But either way, we are we're okay. There we go. We are halfway done with tonight, or getting close to halfway done with tonight's race. 52 minutes into tonight's race. Now about to click over to 53. Craig Jancic enjoying a very sizable lead, as he is out to a 31-second lead, and trying to see where Herbert Pineda has landed in the race. And for some reason, I'm not seeing him. Am I missing something here? I mean, he was leading for most of this race, and all of a sudden I don't see him in the driver's order. I could be blind though. Yeah,
I don't know. It was also, I'm sorry, I was just asking me something. Hey, there's also a battle back a little bit farther in the field there. Frank Pisano, obviously, he was up towards the front here early, but Frank Pisano, Brandon Potts, and Todd Torvell back towards those later positions here, but trying to fight their way back up through the field after having a pretty rough start. But battle brewing there again, and now let's even talk about maybe somebody we haven't talked about yet. Sitting in P number 10, Dan Morera. Obviously in that position with I think it's Paul Bailey in a good battle here for that 10th position. There's another battle between a Porsche and a McLaren, on the track here. So just the battles just kind of keep changing hands in the different positions, but they're all over the track. After one kind of dissipates, you just go ahead and pick up another one.
Up at the front again, it is Craig Jancic, 32-second lead. Steven Borussia here in second place, and he's gonna have some company here pretty soon. Devin Young, again starting way back there in 18th position, has now worked his way all the way up into third, and gonna battle possibly Borussia here very soon for second place. Ortiz Torres in fourth, Rainy Ayers in fifth. Then you got Burrell, Reiner, Southern, Jensen, and Herrera for your top 10. I think the confusion is on my end, because this was the car that was leading with Herbert Pineda, but team event here tonight. So the teammates swapping out here, and Ian Southern now into the 99 Ferrari, and they are in 8th position right now after the wreck, and it looks like Southern now is going to be coming in to the pits. So 55.5 minutes into this race. Jimmy, I think it's time we like these engines do a little talking here around Spa and listen to the beautiful sights and sounds of the CSRL GT series with a little love to hear it.
A little bit.
Sights and sounds of the CSRL GT Series around Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps, and got a chance to listen to all these beautiful engines roar, and talking to Jimmy, and I believe we actually have all the manufacturers out here. We have the Chevy right here they're riding on board with. We have the McLaren, we have the Audi, we have the Porsche, we got the Ferrari, we got the Mercedes, Ford, the BMW, the Acura, Mercedes, I would say Mercedes, we got it twice out here, and the Lamborghini. Unfortunately, the only one not running yet is the lone Lamborghini, and that is was driven by Leo Gausha. Going to finish in 17th spot here, just moved himself up into 3rd, and then had a bit of a moment, hit the wall out of Wuhan, damaged the car enough that it was crab walking, and ended up having to tow to the pits and decided to call it quits from there. Finishing in the 18th position tonight is going to be Billy Wright, and not of his doing. It was his internet provider that decided to do maintenance and kick them off of here. So he is not going to finish tonight's race. And then Doug Palmer started from the pole, and it didn't last too long, unfortunately. It lasted, once we got the green flag, 2 corners, and he ended up getting absolutely destroyed. And for those of you that are just joining the race here tonight, we'll show you exactly what happened in the beginning of this race, as we had a good 19 car field out here, and Doug Palmer and the 24 of currently driven right now by actually was Bryce Reiner also in the car, side by side, and a bit of a moment there from Reiner. Palmer gets sent in there and just absolute carnage. You see Herrera getting thrown up into the air multiple times. That ended up being the night, unfortunately, for Doug Palmer. Did not get that thing back going, but it's been some craziness throughout the field as well. We had Herbert Pineda from pretty much that point on led the race until after the first round of pit stops. It was Craig Jansen that closed in on him finally after a long run to try and catch back up to him, and Pineda had a bit of a moment, hit the wall very hard, but his car's still out there and still running decent inside the top 10 is now Ian Southern in the 99 as they're in 9th position. But the car driven by Craig Jancic and Glenn Lazan are the ones that are in the lead. Lazan is the one in the lead currently, as I think Jensen just went into the pits. That's why it shows the crash on our side here. But it is Lazan, Devin Young, Barusha, Dutton now moved himself into 4th place as he's sharing the car with Ortiz Torres. Ayers is going to round out your top 5. Then you got Burrell, Jensen, Reiner, Southern, and Herrick for your top 10.
Yeah, so pit stops happening yet again. I think anybody coming in now would be able to make it the whole way. So Dave Jensen, well, I was like, ooh, somebody crashed, but it's that entrance SDK does not get along with, and it just says people crash there all the time, and they're just entering the pits. So, but Jensen in, Bryce Reiner in as well. You're trying to make their way back up to the field is, you know, they're down 6 spots, and currently sitting in 8th. So it means starting up there in P number 2, and that Mercedes. But yeah, Glenn Lawson up front, not quite as fast as Craig Jancic, but obviously, you know, team event out here for fun. The gap is starting to come down as Devin Young is on a mission to catch Glenn Lawson. But Lawson, you know, did a great job throughout the season. Me and Carl will talk a little bit, you know, finishing 2nd on the points and stuff. So, you know, obviously, you know, good combo for Craig Jancic and Glenn Lawson there to kind of pair up as teammates and, you know, help Glenn along and maybe learn something and get a little quicker. But he's definitely shown that he's got some pretty decent pace. He's running 220s right now, which is pretty respectable out here on this track. It's you get in that race mode, as I call it, and you just want to get nice, steady, clean laps. And you know, even though you might be a couple tenths slower, or even a half a second, it takes forever to catch somebody here. And I don't know why. It just seems like, oh, there's a whole second faster on the previous lap, and you'd think that 1 second would go down 1 second. No, most of the time it's only down by maybe like 2 tenths or so. I don't know why. Don't know how I calculate it, but Playing out here doing a good job, still leading this thing. He does have 14 seconds to play with, and we still have at least 45 minutes remaining. So we still have basically another race. So round 2 for some of these drivers, and and it could help some of these drivers that are, these teams that are actually getting out of the car and putting in another driver. Fresh set of let that person relax a little bit. Maybe I don't know if they have to split it evenly, or if they're allowed to switch back out to put the better driver in to get the good finish. But I think at this point of the race, we really got to see maybe who still has to pit again, because I think we're getting right in that window where if you came in now, you should be able to make it all the way. But it really depends. You can, if anybody's ever driven here at Spa, you can save a lot. And it's all about throttle position. And just also keeping an eye out on my fellow racers. They're at Spa as well, where I typically would go after a CSRL race. I usually like to hop in and do a race myself with some the league mates over there at Core, and running the LMP2s, and they're at Spa just like these GT3 cars are, but they have their hands full. They have rain on track, and just watching some of the top drivers still spinning out here. So it's definitely interesting and different to see the two different points of view, and how troublesome this track is. And we talked about these drivers here, they're doing 220, 2 minutes and 20 seconds around here. And if I'm not mistaken, Carl, when it was raining here, we were lucky to get down in like the 240s. So it really does play a huge difference. You have to be careful. You're used to going out here like these drivers are right now, and just mashing up the gas pedal or floorboard, getting as fast as you can, braking as late as you can. But the rain really does play tricks on people, and it really does add a new dynamic to realism out there. You can't see in the spray. The car will hydroplane, and it feels really funky. I mean, it's just like if you're driving on the highway in your car and you hit a puddle, and like your steering wheel kind of like floats on you, like so you can move back and forth freely, like you're on some ice. It does the same thing with these direct drives. You just kind of like lose feeling, and your steering wheel just kind of floats, and you're left in the gas, just hoping that the car will settle back down and the tires will make contact with the road, and then very light intermittent braking, to not send yourself around or in a slide where it's uncontrollable. But yeah, so far right now, I'm just kind of, we talked about Glenn being up front, but Devin Young still in P02, track one down. Steven Barossa is in there in P3 in the Audi. Jim Dutton is now in the car in P4. Randy Ayers is in 5th. William Burrell sitting in 6th. Ian Southern is in 7th in the 99 car. David Jensen is in 8th. Jim Herrick is in 9th. Stephen Pless is in 10th. And then you have Colin Winslow out there in 11th. Paul Bailey is in 12th. Tyler Torvell is in 13th. Renan Dilemma in 14th. John Espada in 15th. Bryce Rayner back there in 16th. Leo Gauch in 17th. Willie Wright and Doug Palmer. So that's your 19 car field right now. But that's who's currently in the car, or who currently got out of the car. As far as team goes, it's GT89 up in the lead over DYR, and then BS Motorsports. I do have the team names up as well. So P4 would be Spin Diesel, and then team 5th place, the 66 car is Team GP Sim Sport. The 21 car is Bullseye Racing. The 99 car is Millennium Motorsports. And they have a second team, Millennium Motorsports. I think it's gold for the 692. The 40 is 40 Racewear. We talked about them as being our sponsor throughout the season. And then the 96 is Team Stephen Pless. Stephen Pless in the car. Colin Winslow is driving for 704 Motorsport. Paul Bailey is on his own team. Ace Motorsports with Tyler Torvell. Shake and Bake with Random Dilemma. John Espada is his own team, and then Bryce Rayner running with Digital Sim Sports, and then Leo Gauch is in Foremost Speed, and Billy Wright is with Arc Esport Racing.
We are, excuse me, down to the final 38 minutes left in this race, so the time is starting to tick away here. Glenn Lawson still enjoying the lead, but the time is getting down a little bit closer, a little bit more manageable here for Devin Young, as he has been running consistently down in the 218s and clocking in about a second faster, sometimes a second and a half faster than Glenn Lawson, trying to run him down. This past time by, Lawson running a 219.85, Devin Young with a 219.05, so 0.8 of a second on this last lap. And at this rate, we could have a battle on our hands within the next 12 to 15 laps. And this thing is not over just yet. We'll see if Young can have enough speed to catch up to the 689 team and get this thing done. But it's been a fun one out here tonight. We got only battle, actually, yeah, 2 battles on the track right now. There's another one starting to develop, but it is Bill Burrell here right behind Randy Ayers is the battle for 5th place overall. And then the other somewhat close battle is back here in 12th and 13th with Paul Bailey trying to run down Tyler Torville in the 22. But as excuse me, as Jimmy mentioned, we want to send a shout out, a couple shout outs. First of all, out to all the fans out there for CRN. I want to thank you for tuning in here tonight. And if you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe and get you in touch with everything that CRN has to offer. But also for our sponsors on the season, 40 Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. 40 sim racing shoes, custom engineered to connect racers to the pedals in a way no other racing shoe can, while still providing the comfort needed for those double and triple stints. Visit 40racewear.com and check out the latest sim racing products, including the original racing gloves for your feet. At SimCraft, they create the most advanced customizable simulators for drivers and enthusiasts alike. Whether you're a professional racer looking for position training or a home user seeking an immersive experience, SimCraft delivers unparalleled performance. SimCraft is trusted by real-world professionals with over 74 client championships, including 18 in 2024. Their advanced simulators provide unmatched precision and performance, empowering drivers to excel at every level. Join the ranks of champions who rely on SimCraft to elevate their training and development. For modern PC, they are focused on providing high-quality PCs, rigs, and components at an affordable price. Your investment in sim racing is the exact same as racing with an actual car. They take that same methodology at Martin, from the engine PC to the chassis rig, pedals, wheels, and shifter. You deserve components that match your desire to compete. Jimmy, it's been a fun, interesting one here tonight at Spa, where we're certainly nowhere close to being done yet. Still got almost a full CSRL race to finish this thing out. Now only 35 minutes left, but it's been quite interesting. Obviously, from the lap 1 incident to our leader a little bit later in the race, spinning out and hitting the wall. We've kind of had a lot to talk about. I know it's a 2-hour race, but we've had plenty to talk about this entire time.
Yeah, I think the 99 came in the pits. Yeah, that crash, coming in the pits. So that 99 taking its last pit stop of the evening, I'm sure, as they come down. It looks like Glenn Lawson is going to come down in the pits as well, and also Devin Young. So a lot of drivers coming down the pits here to end this thing. Steven Barusa in the pits now. Herb Pineda just got back in the car of the 99 to go back out on track to see if he can move it forward up from that 9th position. He's now getting underway. So seeing some pit stops here late, and just trying to carry this thing in. Devin Young back out he's back out on track. Awful slow for some reason. That was coming out of turn 1.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened here because I thought he was in the pits. So I'm kind of confused. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time I'm confused here tonight, but we'll take a look at this here again.
He came in the pits.
He definitely came into pit lane.
I don't think he stopped.
Unless this was a, I mean, I don't think they have the circuit drivers, but it does have that his pit time was 23.28 seconds. So we'll just fast forward it through here, through pit lane here real quick and see if maybe he had a bit of an issue, and to say, yeah, right there. Came through and went through the cones. So he is going to have to go around again. Hopefully he's got the fuel to make it around another lap. But that is definitely going to be, actually, maybe 2 laps, because he's got a penalty he's got to serve now, as that was an unsafe exit out of pit lane. So this has definitely turned things on its head, and yeah, he's certainly limping that thing around. I mean, like you said, Jimmy, you can save fuel here at Spa when you haven't planned on saving fuel, and then you have to all of a sudden save that extra lap. Oof.
Yeah, not the way that Devin wanted to, I'm sure, execute a fuel save, you know, to make sure he can get around. He's down inside turn 15, so he still has to come down through 16, Blanchimont, and then down through the chicane. Pit lane is long as forever on this track, and you see him where he exited, and that's a spot where, you know, you have a hard, sometimes you have to slow down, even though you're going, like, I think it's 35 or 45 miles an hour or whatever. You have to slow in order to make sure your car doesn't hit the wall there. So, but he's gonna limp this thing around. Hopefully he has enough fuel to make it. Now working his way down through Blanchimont. Oh, and he's coming up. He's gonna get passed by the 66.
It's Randy Ayers going by, and taking over the lead is Randy Ayers. He has yet to come into the pits, and he is going to come in there now.
He made the pits again.
Now, hopefully this time he understands what he's got to do in pit lane, and that is stay inside those cones, as Lenzon going to take back the lead here in the race, and that could be all she wrote unless Lenzon has any kind of issues. I mean, Devin Young seemed like he was the only one that had a chance to run him down and possibly catch him before this thing is over. Well, that has been thrown by the wayside now, as Young back in the pits, just trying to limp his way back to his pit stall with whatever fuel he's got left. And this time, he's gonna be a little bit more cautious and keep it inside those cones and actually go down his pit lane here. So he'll be able to make it down there, even if he's got to clutch it in from here. He'll be able to make it down to his pit stall. But Len Lezon is now going to be enjoying a 21.5 second lead over Stephen Barusha, who has moved himself now up into second place. We'll see. I mean, we've seen so many incidents from Dave Jensen. We've seen the one where he tagged the wall pretty hard. That doesn't matter now. He is up into third place as he just passes Randy Ayers and Devin Young in pit lane. So the 692 up and down race, but it's worked out to a third place currently. Jim Dutton now is going to move on by into fourth place as well. So the team of Dutton and Ortiz Torres is going to move into fourth place. Randy Ayers, you see him coming out of pit lane right there. He is going to just be behind Bill Burrell. So Burrell is going to get the undercut done here on Randy Ayers, moving himself into the top 5.
Yeah, and I heard some good news there from Bill, as he's going to hop over with and help admin CSRL. So Bill's a great person. I've talked to him a couple times, and just you know, laid back. He loves racing and loves what CSRL stands for. So he's going to help lead him around and help out. We know as me and Carl are actually part of Core Racing, and Carl is actually the league owner, and you know, I help him out as best we can. But it has its challenges, and you need, you know, a few good people to really be there to, you know, not only support you but help you out every now and then. You know, some decisions, you know, as much as you want to make them, you know, maybe it's just good to get another view from, you know, a bunch of people that you know, have the same view. So, you know, and me and Carl sometimes don't agree, and some of the people that some of the other admins in Core, we don't agree. But you know, when we're done at the end of the day, discussing what needs to be discussed, we come out and we stick by what, you know, the majority has said, and we support each other for those decisions. And you need those good people out there And yeah, somebody like Bill Burrell is going to be one of those people that is going to be a big help with admin these drivers here at CSRL. So, but it's good to see Bill actually out here having a great run, sitting there in that P5, up 10 spots. Yeah, maybe a little bit of assistance from an early incident, taking out a majority of the field, but he was able to navigate through that and navigate his way through the field. It's, you know, he's been out here for an hour and a half and sitting currently in number 5. He has his hands full. Randy Ayers is not going anywhere in that Porsche, and you know, definitely coming out with some fresh tires. So we'll see if Randy can get back around. You know, and right now, we'll see if that's the closest battle on the track. So, you know, I'm sure we'll be watching that one for quite a while, as the other drivers seem to be all pretty spread out right now.
Well, we got some time. We can take one of our interviews here a little bit early, and we'll talk to one of the admins here in CSRL. But more importantly, the Pro Class champion for the season, and that is going to be Greg Jancic. Greg, you joined us here in the booth. You had a pretty good run out there in the beginning. You were chasing out Herbert Pineda, or maybe watching Herbert Pineda kind of sneak out there in the first little run. You finally catch up to him a bit in the second run. Maybe that little bit of pressure caused him to have an error, and you took advantage of it and tried to sneak away from that point. Your car's still out there leading.
Yeah. It's first of all, thank you for the flowers on the championship. I know it wasn't super official last week, but really glad to repeat. I believe 4 times, which is just it's an honor. You know. You've been in leagues where you start getting a lot of crap for doing something like that, but everybody here is of the highest respect, and it's just such a great place to be. Here today, yeah, I mean, you pretty much nailed it. You know, up the hill on that one was crazy. It was pretty crazy.
That was going to be my next question. How did you survive? How did you survive?
Glenn's doing an amazing job out here. You know, I hate that. You know, I think I did force Herbert into a mistake that ultimately cost him the race. But you know, we were getting ready to battle hard there. I did kind of let him get out there. I was just trying to save the rears on this vent, because through the middle sector, this thing is like you have lunchroom trays under the rear tires. But otherwise, it's a pretty good rocket here, even on the fixed set, which is rare. Yeah, Glenn's doing an amazing job. Devin was reeling us in, but he just had a fatal error trying to get to pit road, and you know, barring anything crazy, we're sitting in a really good spot here. Go ahead with your next question, which I have a feeling I might know what it might be.
Well, before we get into that, you mentioned about Devin Young kind of closing you guys down, and it's one of the things about a team race, a team event like this. You have a good run, you got your car in the lead, you got a good sizable lead, and then you got to hand the car off to another driver. I mean, it's a helpless feeling, and especially when you know that driver's out there, and you know, Glenn wasn't exactly putting down bad laps or some of the fastest laps out there, but Devin Young was a good, you know, second and a half faster, running him down. You know, what's the feelings? What's the mindset when you're in there watching your teammate still out there leading, but you see another hungry driver running him down?
Yeah, I'm in the camp where, you know, there's reinforcement that needs to be given, and I feel like throughout Glenn and I have been, we were teammates last season for the team championship, and this one as well. And the positive reinforcement was really working. He was getting the lap times further down and further down. You know, he's dipping into the 219s, and he'll get back there when we get a little bit of fuel out of the car again. You know, he's hitting low 220s as it sits, and those are great laps. Those are, you know, if this was a group race, those are class-winning laps for the AM class. So it's not like he's not holding his weight up. He's doing an amazing job, and you know, you hand that car off, and you know, one of the reasons that I've selected Glenn for the past 2 seasons was his ability to keep the car on track. He is one of the routinely least incident gathering drivers in this series, and I know that when I give him the keys to my C8, he's gonna bring it back with all the doors and fenders on it just the same way. And I mean, he's literally had one off track in the almost 40 over 40 minutes he's been in the car now. So lots of trust there. Obviously, Devin's one of the biggest ones of the series here. I was prepared for him to close the gap in, and honestly, I was prepared for him to get there. Part of Spa's insanely technically difficult characteristic is the pit road. You guys know that. And now we've got a refresh pit road, which I didn't even know until we started practicing here today. And the refresh pit road's even harder because you used to just go straight off into a wall there, but now it's cones, and cones don't stop you. And Devin learned that the hard way, and I hate that for him, but I mean, it's, door wide open for us.
Well, you mentioned doors and bumpers staying on the car. That's what didn't happen on lap number 1 at the top of Radion. So let's go ahead and now rewind it back to lap 1. What was your vantage point? Were you just happy to get by that and just look in the mirror like? I feel like you're probably Ricky Bobby at that point, looking in the mirror. Wow, that was cool. But I mean,
my God, dude, I think Bryce went over top of me. I don't even really know. I'm pretty sure we went under him. I don't really know what happened there. It looked to me, from my vantage point, like Doug kind of forced Bryce to leap the car over that curb. The last left-handed curb at the top already on there, and it looked like when cold tires, when you land, they're not going to grip unless they have heat in them. And when Bryce landed, he had no rear steer, and or he had no rear grip, and the oversteer just sent him straight back into Doug. I clipped Bryce a little bit on the front, but it took the faster pair on my pit stop, so I knew there was some damage there, and I could kind of feel in the left front it wasn't perfect for that whole first stint. That's how I think I kind of lost some of the time to Herbert as well, but we took the faster pair and we kept going. But yeah, I mean, I did not think, when you see a car in the air and the other one, almost basically 100% track blocking, you're not expecting to get through that, and for better or for worse, we sure did.
Well, I mean, you've been in your fair share of oval races as well. I mean, we mentioned you go to a track like Daytona or Talladega, you expect the big one. You go to any road course, let alone at Spa, and let alone at the top of Radion, where you could technically fit about 15, 20 cars wide. I guess it kind of bottlenecks a little bit once you get to the Kemmel Straight there, but you don't expect the big one at Spa.
Not really. The GT start definitely attributes to that, versus the Grand Prix start on the on the actual start finish. It's a start finish line versus the start line versus the finish line here. So that's definitely a contributing factor. I personally love it. I think that I'm somebody that pounces on cold tires, specifically compared to a lot of people here, even at the top of our class. I think that my cold tire game is really, really strong. So I welcome that type of chaos. But I mean, if I lost the car here 13 seconds into the road, maybe I wouldn't be saying that in the interview. Who knows?
Well, we talked about your pro class championship win, but you and Glenn also racking up the team championship here as well. So you get the both championships under your belt here for this season. It's got to feel like another great. I mean, I'll let you kind of put the description on the season for you, but this wasn't that easy. I mean, it wasn't your typical Craig Jansick, getting out there and doing your battles. Certainly with Winslow pretty much every week. And this one, you had some battles on your hands almost every single time out there. Nothing was easy.
No, nothing was easy. And I know that this is a phrase that I've used. Maybe I'll coin it as my catchphrase, but if we keep moving the needle of competition forward every season, that is all that, not only as a competitor of this league, but as one of the administrators, that is all that we can ask for. Keep the competition needle moving upwards and upwards, season over season, and I certainly think that we've done that. We touched on Devin kind of becoming part of the big four here. I know he wasn't able to make every race this season, but when he was around, you knew that he was there. We missed a Civ Magical a lot this season. I know he had a couple of commitments as well, but he continues his improvement upwards and upwards and upwards. Chris Hamilton, I know you guys extend deeply through core with Chris. I'm so glad that he is now a Wednesday night regular. This was an awesome championship battle this year, and it shows that when we race as hard as we do here in CSRL, and we get right into Discord DMs talking about how great of a time that every race was. That's the camaraderie of dreams for league owners, and I know you guys know that too for all of the leagues that you guys administrate to, and it's a utopian league situation realistically, and I know that that's only going to go forward. And you know what? I'll give my flowers to good buddy Bryce Reiner. I know he gets involved in some incidents, and everybody's going to get involved in incidents. It's part of it. I had probably the most self-inflicted incidents this season that I've had in the last 2 or 3.
Yes.
I think Bryce is actually moving his self-infliction down a couple of steps. And I think that I've brought the hype to the table for Bryce, and I think that I'm no longer bringing it fruitless, and I'm happy about that. And Rich Petrucco, another great name, limited schedule, but massive impact when present. And you want to add your name to that list, get in contact with me or Jim or even Carl and the guys here at Core, and I promise you won't be disappointed.
Well, it was going to lead me into my final question with you here, and that's going to be for next season. I know we were going to talk to the Jim, but we figured he's out there on the track and may be able to talk to him with the podium finishes. They're out there in second place right now with the number 11 car. So next season, I know you guys are already starting to gear up for it, and looking for potential sponsors and things like that. So give you a little bit of time here to kind of plug the series as much as you already did, but kind of explain what we may be looking forward to for next season, what they need to do for looking at sponsorship and things like that, and hopefully we'll be on board with you guys again. But we understand either way. If things got to fall into place the right way, but we certainly loved being a part of CSRL as long as we have. But give you a little time to kind of plug your next upcoming season here.
Absolutely. I'll take the first moment to thank you guys, Carl, Jimmy, everybody behind the banner at Core Racing Network. It's really not just me expressing this over the airwaves to do it. The quality of what you guys do, not just tonight, but every night of the week, throughout your various series, is of the highest echelon that you can get in sim racing. Core Racing Network, the real deal. Thank you guys for what you do, and I am not afraid to state that we are definitely looking forward to bringing you guys on for our 12th season to start here in a couple of weeks. We'll just keep, when you have a good thing, there's not too much to mess with, right? So thank you for that. And honestly, that very statement for what we're looking at coming up ahead, I think is ringing pretty true. We have a great thing going right now. We're in the process of our participant survey is out there currently, and our guys are responding to it with flying colors and raving reviews of what we've had going on here. I don't expect any major changes coming to CSRL as a whole. So if you're looking forward to getting involved in that, please feel free to reach out. We have a few different ways to do so. My name, Craig Janczak. Feel free to locate me personally through Discord. It's searchable by no space between my name. Happy to answer any questions you might have. We do also have an email for the league, casualsimracingleague@gmail.com. We're contactable there as well. And I'll also take this moment to thank a few of our sponsors as well. Simcraft has been incredible, thanks to TJ Halsema, and Bill Burrow is actually the glue that brought TJ to us. Bill, his family as well. Thank you guys for your support of our league. I can say confidently that it does not go unnoticed and it is not undervalued. We've welcomed Bill to the admin team lately as well, because his passion for what we do shows through in every word that he says about our league. His interview last week was one of my favorites maybe of the season, and that was very heartwarming, not just for me as a human, but as a legal administrator as well. We've also got Martin PC, longtime supporter of myself, but also of CSRL now for multiple seasons over. I believe every season that we've broadcast here at CRN has been supported by Martin PC in some part. So Brian Hayes, thank you so much. You are the bomb, and you make an amazing product. You know who else makes an amazing product? This is your cue to cut to the 9th place, number 40 vehicle, driven currently by, oh, you know what? I'm sorry. No broadcaster curse for the boy.
That's true.
Jim Herrick,
That's true.
we love you. We absolutely love you, Jim Herrick. His original racing gloves for your feet, 40 Racewear. Thank you to him as a person. God, he's so sharp on the track. He's got, you can tell he's one of the most cerebral racers, and I love that quality of a racer, and you can just tell if anybody has a conversation with him, you gain it pretty much immediately. That's one of your first takeaways. Oh my gosh, I'm out of breath. I believe I've circled just about every single veil that I can here. It's a good thing when you have so much support that you don't even you're not sure if you've hit all the boxes. I think that's a good sign. I'll take a moment to thank the admin team as well. Jim Dunn, the owner of this league. I know we just spoke about him. I hope he comes through in second place. He puts his heart and soul in this, and even despite the fact that he wasn't able to give us maximum participation for this season, his impact is not ever absent. Colin Winslow, a technical mastermind, an absolute wizard behind the screen, and his automation of this league has made Jim's, myself, I'll get to thanking Renan in a moment. It's made everyone's life a lot easier. Renan, he's the sunshiniest light of a human, and I know he's about to welcome another child as well, so his participation's about to fall off. Best of luck to him and his wife through that process as well. Rich Petrucco, again, a not super frequent presence, but a very strong one. He's our strong arm. He knows how to word things. He knows how to state things, and that's our man for that. I don't know, guys. I feel like I've talked it up pretty well. I hope that my passion for this league comes through in every word that I say too, because it's a blast to spend every Wednesday night here, man. I really can't understate that.
Yeah, it's been fun for us too. I mean, I can speak for Jimmy. We've had fun and have fun in every single race, and it seems like there's always something to talk about. Just like back when me and Joe were doing the broadcasts, where we got some battling going on track here. As your newest admin here, Burrell, making a heck of a move into the bus stop to move himself up into fourth places. 4th, 5th, and 6th are getting third place. So third, fourth, and fifth getting close to the track here. But yeah, I mean, there's something to talk about every race. I mean, even this one here, it's a 2-hour race. Normally races like this long, it can drag out and it can, you know, spread out the entire field. But, you know, here we are, 8.5 minutes left in this race, and we got third, fourth, and fifth on screen, all under a blanket here. And we got a battle for the final spot on the podium, and it seems like it's like that every week. There's very few times, at least this season and even last season, that you had one guy kind of check out. You know, for both the pro and the am, there's always some kind of battling going on the track. So I'll say thank you on our side for CRN. But Jimmy, you have anything for Craig?
No, I'm just kind of in trance watching these three battles. I'm not the one collecting the info, putting it on the air. I do know that Randy might be running a little on fuel, so I think that's why. Obviously, he mentioned over the radio letting Bill go, but Bill now has his hands full as Steven Barusa is on his tail, looking to take away that podium. Bill trying to come up here and talk to us again, Carl.
Yeah, exactly, and hopefully he can get it done here. But Baruch did make a pit stop there on lap 42, so he is good to go on fuel. That's why he's no longer in the top 3, at least for the time being. But once again, Craig, I want to thank you, and I'm glad we got a chance to bring you up here and talk to you before this thing ends out. We'll be talking to your teammate here in a very short while, as you guys are still enjoying a nice sizable lead up there at the front, 26 seconds now over Jim Cutton, which is, of course, just happy to see him back out here. But thank you again for everything that you do and all the the plugs for CRN that you give us. It's certainly well appreciated.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to take one last quick thank you, as I realized I did neglect to say something. I did mention Bill Burrell's family, but to specifically Lucretia Burrell, thank you for your direct support of our league as well. The kindness is immeasurable from you guys, and I really appreciate that too. But yeah, thank you, Clara. It's really such a pleasure, Jimmy. You guys do fantastic work, and I'm gonna go get with Glenn. He's spoiler alert, he's going to be bringing it in this lap, and it's all right. We need a little splash to get to the end, but I see that the top 4 competition is going to need the exact same thing, so we'll be in good shape.
All right, buddy. Well, good luck to you guys, and see if you can bring it home. And either way, I'm sure we'll be talking to you pretty soon. And if we don't get a chance to, good luck on getting ready for this season 12 coming up.
Yes, sir. Cheers. Thanks again.
That is Craig Jancic, your pro, and one of the drivers in the team championship winners here this season. We'll try and get Christian Ortiz-Torres in here, your AM class champion, in just a moment. But yeah, certainly some developments here, as I thought we were deep enough into this run, and Jimmy, I'm sure you thought the same thing, that we were deep enough into that last pit stop that we should have been able to be good to go all the way to the end. But you've seen Steven Baruch came into the pits. He is now up into 3rd place, and there you go. The spoiler alert pays off, and Len Lizan, your leader, into the pits with 5 minutes left in this race. How is this thing going to play out? 37 seconds behind is Jim Dutton. Is he slow because he's trying to work this thing all the way to the end on fuel, or is he low that he's going to come in on this lap? And what does that do for Steve Marusha? Can he close any of this gap up? I think it's a little bit too much to ask to get all of that time back to try and have a chance at this win. But man, 2-hour race, 5 minutes to go. First place in the pits, second place in the pits.
I told you. I said it from the start. It's one thing about these drivers, this league, the way they drive. They continue to shock you, and obviously nobody's perfect. So some mistakes are made. Like the pit entry, coming in and then going through the cones. I mean, that's not something that you would expect to happen from somebody like Devin, but I mean, it does. Nobody's perfect, and we're out here having fun. It's a hobby. Me and Carl have been racing together for a while, and we started the CRN thing so we could share. With at least know that they have reliability, and to come out here and just have fun with it is all part of doing this. So you know, if we didn't enjoy it, we wouldn't be here. And the leagues that we've got the chance to share with and be able to put this on screen for family members that support these drivers. They're out there rooting for them. I mean, it's just like anything I ever did when I was growing up. I used to be big into archery, and you know, I'd have my mom and my dad, you know, root me on, or if I was playing Little League, they're rooting me on. It's the same. It's the same thing. It's just modern day racing. It's safe. You're not gonna, if you wreck, you're not worried about. Well, you could break a finger with some of the equipment, but that's about it. You're probably not gonna die. So I mean, it's just a good way to just have fun, you know, and you meet people of all ages. You know, I've raced with younger drivers. You know, 14, 15 years old, are just as respectful as some of these older drivers, and you know, and you can be in your 50s and 60s and still get out here and have a good time. But right now, this thing is coming down to the end. Right now, it is still Glenn Lizan out front. Steven Barusa is behind by 14 seconds. I don't think he's going to be able to make it up unless Glenn makes a huge error. And Craig was very you know, happy to say that Glenn is one of the ones that has the amount of incidents, so not something he's expecting Glenn to happen. But Randy Ayers is able to move back into the P3 as Jim Dutton had to come in and get that splash of fuel, and he's now 10 seconds behind, and it looks like, yeah, Bill had to come in and get some fuel as he drops back to P7. So mix it up, and a little bit in the front as a fuel strategy coming down to a big part of this, you know, with the it's not something you think about right off the rip, and with driver changes it might get lost in some translation, but we're getting ready here to end this thing, I think, in a few short minutes, as my counter's over the 2 hour.
We did get the white flag this time by, so Lizan on his last lap. Barusha going to be taking the white flag here as well. Now the question is, Randy Ayers going past the stand right now. He's got 8.5 seconds between him and Jim Dutton, but you've seen he was in extreme fuel save mode. He did not come in. He is one of the guys that stayed out here, as did Devin Young. He's going to stay out here. He's in 5th place, trying to stretch this thing out on fuel. Both of them last pitting on at lap 37. So stretching this thing out as far as they can, trying to get this thing all the way home, and looking like maybe able to do so. Well, we got a quick moment. Going to try and bring in our AM class champion, since I wanted to give him a second and let him kind of talk his teammate there, Jim Dutton, through the pit stop. But while we got a chance, and hopefully we're not scaring him, bringing him here into the booth, but Christian Ortiz Torres, your AM class champion for this season. I want to give you a chance to get Jim through the final pit stop there for your team, as you guys looking like you had a chance at a podium here tonight, but ultimately want to talk to you about your AM class championship this season. Congrats on it being official, and what are your thoughts? Has it kind of set in that you're a 2-time champion now?
Hey, thank you guys. I mean, it's exciting, and yeah, definitely. Yeah, there's been a long season, and a lot of people here are so competitive. So yeah, we try to just make good points and try to stay consistent without losing many of the races or wasting them, and yeah, we made it to the end.
Well, for this one here tonight, it wasn't about making it to the end, it was just making it to the Kemmel Straight. We jumped on board with you and seeing how that all transpired right there at the beginning, as we see Glenn Lizan taking the checkered flag here tonight. But yeah, that top of Radion there before you head to Kemmel Straight, it looked like maybe you just got a little bump on the front end, but there was plenty of carnage in your windshield.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely that was crazy at the beginning, and yeah, there was a lot of cars all over the track, and yeah, I just took it slow and tried to keep it safe, and yeah, I think I did tap somebody, but yeah, luckily it was no damage to the car, and we kept going, and I think that definitely made a huge difference. Yeah, we started 13 and yeah, finishing I think B4.
Yeah, B4. So heck of a job by you and your teammate there, Jim Dutton, getting it done here tonight. This was I've said it 20 times now, I believe, but you don't expect to see a big one and a wreck that takes out damn near the entire field on any road course. But here, I mean, at the top of Spa, it was just survive and get through that. You guys did a heck of a job. You did that, and you come home just outside the podium spots here. But another championship run for you for this season, getting the AM Class Championship. Will we see you once again dipping your feet back up into the Pro Class next year?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'll definitely be there. I'll work and keep going and see if I can do any better.
All right, buddy. Well,
yeah, those pro guys are really good, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, unless 90% of them wreck, out of the first couple corners, it makes it a little bit easier for you.
Yeah.
Well, before we let you go and get out of here and celebrate with your teammate here tonight, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to for the season?
Shout outs to my teammate for doing the race today. Nice job to him as well as driving. Shout outs to everybody here on the league, you guys, for putting a good broadcast, and shout outs to CFG, my family in Denver, and my woman, Brooke.
All right, buddy. Well, congrats again on another championship season. I'm sure we'll be keeping an eye on you for next season. See if season 12 is the season where you take a bit of a step forward and maybe do battle with these guys at least for some top 5 spots.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we'll come strong.
All right, buddy.
Thank you guys.
That is Christian Ortiz-Torres, the AM Class champion for the season, as we see Glenn Lazan pulling it to the front stretch here. Trying to do a burnout, and certainly his driving on the track was a little bit better than the attempted burnout there. So I'm not going to shame him too much here, but Jimmy, why don't you give us a final rundown of tonight's results?
Yeah, final rundown of the rundown. It's going to be Glenn Lazon at 689. So that's the GT89 team coming home with the win here. Then BS Motorsports driver Steven Barras brings that car into P number 2. Team GP Sim Sport for your third place, Randall Ayers will come in third. Spin Diesel with Jim Dutton at the wheel to bring it home in P number 4. DYR with Devin Young for 5th. Millennium Motorsports Gold Team with Dave Jensen. Bullseye Racing, William Burrell, P7. Millennium Motorsports with Herbert Pineda. 40 Racewear with Jim Herrick. 704 Motorsports with Colin Winslow. Team is Stephen Pless will be in 11th. Ace Motorsports with Tyler Torville at the wheel will finish 12th. Shake and Bake with Reina Dilemma at the wheel. It will finish 13th. Team John Espada will finish in 14th. Team Paul Bailey will finish in 15th. Digital Sim Sports by Rice Brainer will finish in 16th. Foremost Speed for Leo Gusho will finish in 17th. And Arc Esports Racing with Billy Wright. So a lot of good drivers, a lot of good racing, a lot of good conversations up here tonight. Not only with obviously with the season's champions and for the AM and the Pro, and talking to the admin there with Craig Jancic as well. So it's just a good insight to what's going on. I always have good conversations with them, and the racing's great to watch. It's good to put on. It's a lot of fun watching. And if I wasn't broadcasting, I'd probably be on the track. I won't lie.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know you certainly taken a keen eye to these road racing, whether it's the LMP2s, the GT3s. It's fun. It's usually really good competition, and certainly plenty of good competition here in the CSRL GT series. We got a few of our drivers ready. It looks like, okay, now we're finally getting the final ones in here, ready for their interviews, and we're going to go ahead and start with our third place finisher here tonight, and that is going to be not the 99, it's going to be the 66 there of Randy Ayers. Randy, it looked like it was a bit of a strategy. I mean, it was a 2-hour race here, but it was the last like maybe 10 minutes or so where it looks like, hold on, we may not have Randy. Randy, do you have a copy? There we
There
go.
we go. For some reason.
There we go.
That was off.
Yeah, so as I was mentioning, you get a third place here tonight, but out of the 2 hours of the race, it seemed like it was really the final 10 minutes that really kind of made everything for you, as you were one of the few ones that was able to stay out there long enough to stretch this fuel out all the way to the end. At what point did you kind of realize that fuel was going to be an issue?
Very first stint. I realized that we could not do it with allocated fuel on 3 stops, or on 2 stops. So I decided to start saving fuel, and I saved fuel second stint almost the whole time, and I took tires, front tires, and then the second stop I took rear tires. So I was stayed within the tire range as well. So, but I was saving big time.
Well, it seemed like
through.
Even though you were saving all the way through the race, you still had to save right there at the end. You were locked in a battle there, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, all kind of thrown under a blanket, and it seemed like you're up there battling. And then all of a sudden, you kind of backed off there a little bit. I assume you had to go into kind of extra fuel saving mode there to make sure you made it all the way to the end.
Yeah, exactly. If they were, I figured if they were in the same situation I was and they were pushing, they weren't going to make it. So I figured I'll just stay back, and I have no idea what they're going to do, but I know I can't finish if I push. So, and I can only drive my own race, right? So
Exactly.
Worked out well.
You made the right call. You get yourself a podium here at Spa. Just about asked everybody that we already talked to here in the race, but lap 1. Getting to the top of Radeon there. What was it like from your perspective? I mean, there was certainly plenty of parts and cars and everything flying all around.
Yeah, I think I'm actually made it out of there with a 4X, but I don't remember hitting anything. There was a lot of stuff going in front of me in both directions, and I just kept pointing at the open space. and I that was the luckiest thing ever right there. I mean, that was not skill, that was all luck. So
I mean, I know the quote goes something where if you stop going for the space, you're no longer a race car driver. Well, you had to go for the space just to survive at that point.
Exactly, in that one.
Well, you made it
sure.
through. You made it all the way to the end on the fuel, and you made it up here to the podium, 3rd place here tonight. So congrats on the run here for the 66. Who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Well, the luck of the Irish first for that first one.
Absolutely.
But yeah, everybody at Casual Sim Racing League for doing this for us. This is great group of guys to race with, and a lot of fun. And of course, you guys for broadcasting this each week. It's always fun to go back and watch. So.
Well, I appreciate that, buddy. Once again, congrats on the 3rd place here tonight. Will we get to see you out there for season 12 once this thing gets all set up?
Oh, you bet. Yep. I'll be back.
All right, buddy. Well, good luck on season 12. Take some time, celebrate this one. Maybe relax a little bit, or maybe just start gearing up right away for season 12. But either way, we'll see that 66 back out there.
All right. Thanks, you guys.
That is your 3rd place finisher here tonight, the 66 of Randy Ayers. 2nd place tonight, Jimmy, is going to be the 144 of Steven Borussia.
Yay, Steven, Jimmy, and Carl, and the booty copy.
Yeah, buddy, I got you.
Hey, the lone Audi out there, I'm just waiting for maybe the Audi to do some Audi things, as I know it can. But, you obviously finished here in 2nd place tonight, so congratulations. But, the whole race was kind of back and forth. You've seen some good battles. I think at the end there, maybe you've seen you're chasing that mouse down of Glenn Lawson.
Yeah.
He was a little bit slower, maybe attempted to really push that car to try to catch him. But we weren't quite. You just fell just a few seconds short. But obviously the big question and like the shock, and I think of the whole 2 hours, was lap 1 at the top of the hill in Radeon. Yeah. What was your take?
My Lightning McQueen, my Lightning McQueen moment.
Yeah.
That was all that was going through my head. I harnessed Lightning McQueen and a little bit of like cold trickle, and I basically just drove like where they were and hoped that they weren't going to be there when I got there, and I just got lucky, like if I'm honest. So, and when like the dust settled, I was like, oh wow, where did everybody go? That was kind of cool.
It was very shocking. I wasn't expecting a big one that early. And obviously throughout the whole race, there was battles all over the place, and you guys continued to like battle out. And only Doug was the one that kind of parked it for the night. But you guys, when you're out there, you guys just race. You race so hard. The racing's clean. I see side by side racing constantly by everybody out there. But you're the one out there. So is there anything of this 2-hour race that you can kind of maybe pass down to your success of coming home and P number 2?
Don't try to save a second and cost yourself 9 minutes in the pits. It's one of those things. It's like a lot of iRacing is based off 45-minute sprints, so you got to take those moments when they come. But when it comes to situations like this, you just got to think long game. Like I know the Audi's not the fastest, but me and that Audi, I know what it's gonna do. It's predictable, and it's just about being consistent, and, putting down the laps, and just trying to stay out of the situations when the situations happen. That's like the biggest thing, that, and just don't give up too. If something happens lap 1, lap 2, go back out there, finish the race. You never know what could happen. So
so obviously you partook in this 2-hour event. Is the special events or the long endurance races something that you do on the side? I know me and Carl, that's our free time, so we get a chance to get out there and run these special events, the longer ones, those 12-hour, 24 hours. Do you have a team that you're usually going out with as well?
Oh yeah, I got my guys over at Millennium Motorsports I've been running with. Bunch of great guys, bunch of guys in here actually too. But yeah, I love endurance racing. I mean, I live for that way more than I do for the 45-minute stuff. 2 hours for me is like a half of a normal stint that I'll do in an endurance race. I love going like long races, stuff like that. So like this is my bread and butter. This is what I love to do. Yeah, so I've always done. Yeah.
A man after my own heart. I keep telling Carl, and it's Carl's fault that I love endurance racing.
It's a horrible sickness, man. It's a horrible sickness.
Many years ago, I seen him. We had a broadcaster friend that he used to, and he ended up broadcasting a 12-hour, or it wasn't a 12-hour passer. It was the Bathurst 1000, and I was just so intrigued of like, oh, you can share your car with somebody else. That's like, all part about camaraderie and having friends and going out and having a good time. And ever since then, it's been a huge bug for the past 5 years. So
it's awesome. But then you sit there for 6 hours and wait to get in the car, and then you don't even get a chance sometimes. There's that too.
Yes, been there.
Like, or you put in the 6 hours and then you walk away for 2 minutes and you come back and the car's back in the pits and you're like, that's not supposed to be there. Like things like that. But it's all give and take. It's a team thing. It's when it goes well, it's the greatest feeling in the world. When it goes bad, it hurts. But hey, that's life, right?
That is life, and that's the way we do it here on iRacing. And you obviously, like I said, you had a great run tonight. So again, we just want to say congratulations on on your season, and the upcoming season's coming soon. But again, we want to say congratulations and give you a little time for any shouts you might have on that car.
All right, I want to shout out my boys at Team Millennium Motorsports. Dave Jensen, Billy Wright, Ian Southern, Herb, all my boys out there racing with us tonight. And I want to thank you guys for throwing an awesome event. This was a blast, and I can't wait for the next season to start.
All right, Steve, we'll let you go and celebrate with your friends and family, and we'll catch you next season.
Thank you very much, sir. Have a good night.
That is your second place finisher here tonight, the 144 of Steven Barassa. Winner here for tonight. We're going to bring him in because it's a team event here tonight. So even though we already talked to him, we'll go ahead and bring in Craig Jansen. But more importantly, we're going to bring in Glenn Lazan because let's be honest, Glenn, you kind of carried this team here. I mean, you easily got the win here tonight. Craig was just kind of along for the ride in the beginning. He was just kind of your pace car in the beginning. But Glenn, heck of a run here in the second half of the race. I'm sure you were looking at the relative a little bit there when you seen Devin Young kind of creeping up on you after you had a good sizable lead. What was that ever in the realm of I got to try and figure out how to get some more pace, or were you just kind of clicking off the laps?
I think it was more just trying to stay consistent and click off the laps, because Craig and I kind of discussed earlier in the week of like how we should approach the race, if we should. We had a decent lead in the team standings overall, so it's like it wasn't really in our benefit to overly push throughout the race. And if the opportunity presented itself, sure, go ahead and push. But I think Craig kind of took it a little close on some of the off tracks that he took today, but I think overall we all did a pretty solid race.
It's okay. He's in here. You can rein him in.
Why don't you tell us the statistics of the off track percentage for me versus you?
I had 1, you had 10.
Yeah, that's the math. That's the one.
Listen, I can't say much because I think I've had a race here at Spa where I had 75. So I get it.
Oh, well, okay.
I get it. Spa can be a little finicky with some of these off tracks, but I mean, ultimately, you guys combined for the win here tonight. It certainly it was a little rough and tumble at the top of Radion in the beginning. Glenn, you didn't have to experience that. Greg, we already talked to you about your experience through there, but it took out some of your competition right from the beginning, including the pole sitter Doug Palmer. So maybe it made it a little bit easier for the win here. But I mean, even though this thing was only a 2-hour race, it felt like an endurance race for you guys out here.
Yeah, it definitely seemed to take a little while, and then I think we had a pretty good strategy overall. I got a little concerned the last 3 laps. I had a extra passenger in my seat. My dog was licking my face in VR, so that was kind of sketchy in a few of the turns, but worked out.
Well, it certainly did. Whatever it was to keep your concentration or take your concentration off it, either way it worked out here, and you got your team to win here tonight. And I don't know. Like I've kind of been on both ends of it. Starting a quote unquote endurance race. Again, you guys out here for 2 hours, which is more than double what you guys are normally out here for. But it's certainly, it can be fun. It can be very nerve wracking to start the race, and it can almost be the exact same finishing out these races and trying to make sure that all the work that your teammate did in the beginning of the race doesn't get thrown away by one simple little mistake. So you didn't make one. You kept that thing on the track, as Craig already gave you plenty of props for, as one of the drivers that just tries his best not to put a foot wrong out here, as I'm sure all these drivers do out here. But you a little bit cleaner here than some of the guys out here, and that's why he has you as a teammate. Worked out pretty well here tonight. So congrats to both you and Craig for the team championship and the win here to kind of cap off the season. So I already talked to Craig. He already gave plenty of his dues. Glenn, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
I guess really just thanks to you guys. You guys broadcasted really well all season. It's been fun kind of keeping up with the race while also racing. And then, going back afterwards and keeping tabs on how everybody else did throughout the race and seeing all the carnage we may not have missed out on. But yeah, other than that, teammate Craig did really well all year. Definitely helped with some, car testing throughout the season. So hopefully we'll stay as teammates for next season and keep moving forward.
All right. Well, once again, congrats to both of you guys at Team GT 6, 8, 9, getting the team championship, getting the win on the team championship finale here as well. So Craig, Glenn, congrats on the win and the championship win. We'll let you guys go celebrate, and we'll see you next season.
Thanks.
Cheers. I'm gonna stay around if you're bringing Jim in. We're gonna do the talk together.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, we'll go ahead and switch it over now, and we'll bring in the man behind the curtain, and that is Jim Dutton. Jim, you couldn't quite get the podium tonight with you and your teammate Christian Ortiz Torres, just not having the fuel to last all the way to the end, but all in all, I mean, your team car started back there in 11th, and you guys finished in 4th. So, before we get into the the nitty gritty of the league here, I mean, talk us through the race. Talk us through how it went out there.
So, we don't believe in strategy, and we just wanted to go fast. So that's what we tried to do, and it netted us a 4th place position. So we're happy with that. we had worked it out pretty early that it was going to be a fuel saving race. Like after the first pit stop, we were like, oh, there's more than an hour and a half left, so that's going to be close. And we just kind of ignored that fact, just it was kind of the elephant in the room, and we just kept on pushing for whatever reason. But it was a fun race. I'm happy that I got to take part in it too, because it's been a little bit hectic for me as of late to be able to race with these guys. I'm happy to put it on, but racing has been few and far between lately.
Yeah, it was definitely good to see you finally get back out there, and clearly you haven't lost your touch here. I mean, you took over the car halfway through the race here, and you continue to drive that thing up through the field and got all the way up there into the podium spots before you had to make that last pit stop from just having too much of a lead foot for the entire team here tonight. But I mean, I know you'd love to be out there more with these guys, and it sucks sometimes when life gets in the way, whether it's life, whether it's work or anything like that from your fun and your hobby here. But it's, some things just need to take priority over others. But I know even though you're not out here on the track, you're loving what the product is out here of the league that you and the rest of the admins here developed.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm very happy to have the team that I have behind me to help me push this forward and continue to see it grow. We only saw, I mean, tonight was a bit different because we had teams racing as well, but I think we only saw one race in the entire season that was under 30 people, which is huge. That's fantastic. Still haven't hit that 40 yet, but hopefully we can break that next season.
Absolutely, and it'll kind of lead us into the segue. Season 12 on the horizon here, not exactly coming up next week or anything like that. And I know you guys typically like to kind of run right alongside the iRacing schedule. Is that what you guys are going to be looking at doing for next season? Or are there any tracks in particular that you definitely want to have on the schedule, or maybe definitely want to avoid?
Yeah, so we're running the GT3 schedule for next season. We're going to start on week 2, and then I guess end on week 11. And then we'll have a special event like tonight after that as well. We haven't really discussed what tracks we're going to do, or what track we're going to do for the special event, but we'll figure it out. Also, probably have a fun race 2 weeks from now that maybe you guys can join and we can throw our elbows out.
Absolutely. I'm sure. I mean, I know Jimmy was already itching to try and get out there at Spa. He's a big fan of Spa, and I had to kind of rein him in here a little bit. But yeah, well, we'll certainly. I'm sure if we're available, we'll get out there and mix it up with you guys, for better or worse. You asked for it, is what I will say. But but I mean, yeah, reflecting on. Reflecting on
that sounds
this,
like a man with elbows up.
he's already got the elbows out. Yeah, exactly. He's ready to go. Reflecting on the season here, yeah, I agree with you that the car count was absolutely up there, and it just as great as it usually is, and even a little bit more this season. But ultimately, I mean, the competition for the for both the pro and the AM class, I know it kind of got to the point where the last race of the season, when it came to the individual points, was just about all said and done for both the classes. But I mean, it was still a battle all the way through the season, and you've seen a lot of good battles all the way through the field.
For sure. Yeah, I'm the one thing that we pride ourselves on is if you come out, you're going to have somebody to race, and week in, week out. That's the goal. You don't want to be on an island by yourself for 30 out of the 45 minutes that we run. So yeah, and the racing by and large has been very clean. It's been good. There haven't been many complaints at all come up. We might deal with one a week maybe. So that speaks to the drivers giving each other respect and going out there and realizing that you're going to have to race this person next week too, so might as well treat them with some respect.
Well, and that's one thing that's what's great about leagues, in respect to running in officials. You may not see those guys, the next race you're out there, may not see them, maybe ever again if they drop off the table or they climb the tables. You may not ever race them again. But in leagues, like you said, you're going to race them the next week. So if you're, for lack of better terms, if you're a dick to them, they could be a dick to you next week. So you have to kind of mind your tempers. And yeah, I don't know what it is. And Craig, maybe you can kind of speak to this as well, as you have plenty of experience on both the road and the ovals. It seems like oval drivers are a little bit less temperamental than the oval drivers. It seems like one little mistake by an oval driver and they're jumping at each other's throats, where the road guys just seem to just maybe shake it off a little bit easier, and there's rarely any kind of beef that really kind of hangs around and lingers. And especially here, I rarely ever see any kind of discussions in the Discord or anything like that.
Yeah, man, I have a lot, as you mentioned, a good bit of experience in leagues and officials of both sets of disciplines now, and I can't tell you how right you are. I don't know what it is with oval. I don't know if it's an ego thing. I don't know if it's the style of the racing is kind of meant to lean on each other a little bit more. The road, I always think, is like the road is the seductive, artful type of racing, and I think that people, even at our level, at the end of the day, this is called Casual Sim Racers League, and I think that we do still, yes, we have a pro division, but I think that we still toe that casual line very, very well, and we can even, we even learn the tendencies of one another. That, like you said, like you guys were just saying, it's the beauty of a league. You learn the tendencies of the people that you're surrounded with. I think I'm approaching probably, it's got to be like 60 straight weeks on Wednesdays now, being with these guys. Like, you're gonna learn. It's just what happens, and it is so refreshing to be in this space. This is the only road league I've ever been a part of, and it's so refreshing to have the group of people that we have here versus some of the oval leagues and even the general game chats of oval official lobbies here. What Jim and Bill before him and what we've built over the course since I've been lucky enough to be a part of this admin team is just incredible. And it's nice to see we're rewarded with an amazing car count. We're rewarded with amazing sponsors, even donors. It's just an incredible thing to be a part of, man. You really don't even know how home that hits, as I've recently had some rough experiences in one of my other oval leagues. So good stuff, really good stuff here, guys.
Yeah, and I think one of the main words that I took out of what you're saying there is help, and that's another thing that I feel like gets dealt out a lot more on the road side of it as well. I feel like oval racers kind of keep everything close to the vest, but here on road, and especially here in the league, I mean, you guys put on practices before each week's race, which obviously is going to help. But I mean, anytime anybody has any kind of questions, I mean, it's right out there, and it's what's nice about these leagues, and when you have a lot of approachable guys, it's to be able to bounce questions off. Hey, I'm having trouble with turn 6. What are you guys doing? Or what am I missing, or something like that, or anything like that. Just to have league mates that are approachable and can help you is huge, and I think you guys have that in spades here as well.
Yeah, it hurts. and it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter who asks, there's always going to be an answer. And what's cool about that answer is, from what I've been able to detect, it's usually a good one. And, yes, help is always available. Good help is hard to come by, and we have a lot of that. And like I said, it's refreshing. It's fun. It's still competitive. You know, we're still we're giving away all our secrets, but also it's like, okay, I gave that secret up, but like, oh dang, I just found another half a tenth in this corner. So it's fun. It really is. It's everything that someone could really want to be a part of.
Well, and you know as well as any, you know, being a multiple time champion now here, you're not going to get any better just getting in the car and running away from everybody every week. You need that competition to up your game as well. If not, everything's going to get stagnant, and you're going to kind of fall back and maybe almost play into the hands of the speed of everybody else. So as much as you don't want to give those secrets away, those secrets help those guys kind of push you a little bit and make you faster in the long run. So it may not seem like it in the beginning, but it in turn helps you out in the long run, get faster on your you know, your lap times, your overall consistency, everything like that, because you got to try and keep them behind you now that they know some of your secrets. But Jimmy, Jimmy,
Yes?
before we before you fall asleep here at the wheel, what do you got here for Jim and Greg before we finish this thing up?
Nah, I just want to say congratulations on you guys are fun to watch. Yeah, I do goof around. Might mess up some names and whatnot here and there because that's just me. But I just like to have fun. You guys are a lot of fun to watch. You guys are a lot of fun to broadcast. It's just you know, it's not a job to me. It's fun, and I enjoy coming out here and watching good people race. And you guys put on a good product, and it shows. And to have the car counts, like you said, and to have the respect for one another and the camaraderie that's forming on the track, you know, week in, week out, just the great battles that we continue to see is just, it's awesome. So again, just congratulations on, you know, something that you guys should be very, very proud of. And it sounds like you are. So just keep it up, man. It's just, it's something that can go a long way for a long time.
You guys too.
Yeah.
Thank you for everything you guys do. And the product that you guys put out is fantastic. So
I really appreciate that. It was something that was made because we got the shaft a lot. So we were like, well, we'll do it ourselves. So that's where it started. And it's been, I think it's been 3 years already. So we'll be working on year number 4 here. So, but yeah, glad to have you guys on board and glad to keep, as long as you'll have us, we'll be here.
yeah, so next season, we are confirming right now, right? That's happening?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
We're prepared to confirm that. It's as much our honor to be here as it is to watch it back and realize the good job that is done. So thank you. We're looking forward to bringing season 12 of our GT3 League right here to Core Racing Network on Wednesdays at the same exact time.
Yeah,
Awesome.
We'll be here with a smile.
Yeah, I absolutely appreciate it. Just to ignore the first maybe 3 minutes of the broadcast, because the broadcast side for this one was about as rough as the top of Radeon. It was just it was crap. It shut down on me for a second. It was just all over the place. It was rough. But we appreciate all the other good times that we put on a good show for you guys. But yeah, ultimately we
gotta throw a caution for us. You know that, right?
Exactly.
I heard you guys talk. I'm like, call you. They're ready. And I'm like, I'm typing in the chat. I don't know if you guys can see spectator chat or not, but I was like, yeah, we're ready. We're good to go. Carl's getting on right now.
and we got everything good.
Oh my God! If I had a delay green bind set up, I was pressing it. I was going to deal with the consequences from Jim later, but I don't have the bind.
He's like, just go.
I mean, like,
We were good.
Yeah,
we got the green. We got the green and the wreck at the top of Radeon.
Yeah,
so.
I was kind of like,
So, like, I had computer problems at the start of the race too, so I had to actually shut down and I missed the wreck. That's very good that you guys got that. So thank you for that.
We got it multiple times. We looked at it from different angles. We jumped on board with actually your teammate Christian Ortiz Torres, so you get to see how your car went through the carnage there. Well,
yeah,
once again,
something else.
I want to thank you guys for everything that you've done here on your side for bringing us on in the first place and giving us the opportunity to broadcast your great league for multiple seasons now and already looking forward to season 12. So thank you again for the opportunity. We'll see you guys pretty soon, and unfortunately for you guys, we'll see you maybe on track before that starts. But
Dun, dun, dun.
yeah, just a big thanks to you guys on your side. Jim, we already talked to Craig, and he gave us all kinds of thank yous, but we'll give you a chance here to give any more thank yous before the end of this season.
So thank you to every single one of the admin that has helped out for this season. Colin Winslow, Craig, Renan, Rich. They've been fantastic. Thank you to William Burrell for stepping up for next season, because Redden's having a kid any day now, and Colin has gotten a promotion at work, so he's going to be fairly busy as well. So Bill has stepped up to kind of fill that gap. Thank you very much to you guys, of course, and thank you very much to everybody who sponsored the league this season, and everybody who's donated and made this possible. The Canadian dollar does not go as far as the American dollar right now, so it's
Might change.
Yeah.
pretty sure everything just got 25% more expensive here. So it's fun. I'm glad that I finished my sim rig last week. So,
Well,
but
we're glad you got back in the sim rig for this week as well.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, guys.
Anyway.
Once again, thank you for another great season. Already looking forward to season 12 and seeing if Craig can get out there and repeat one more time. See if he's got some more competition to try and take him down, and see what the AM class champion Christian Ortiz Torres can do once again, heading back up to the pro class and seeing if he can mix it up and test his mettle up there with the big boys. But that is going to do it for season 11 of the Casual Sim Racers League. Once again, thank you to everyone that makes this season a success, between the admins here, between all the drivers out there on the track. It is a fun experience for us up here in the booth. Thank you to all the fans out there. Once again, if you haven't done so, hit that like and subscribe. Get you in touch with everything that Siren has to offer. Thank you to the series sponsors, Simcraft, 40 Racewear, and Martin PC. But for myself and Jimmy from the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps, we'll see you at the track.
Peace.